G'day everyone, Matt Elder Family Bricks here, and this is part 2 of our interview with Kevin Hinkle. Kevin used to work for LEGO for 12 years in stores, corporate/marketing, and as the community manager for North and South America. Kevin is now pursuing art and graphic design, which he is formally trained in. You don't necessarily need to have watched part 1, but it is here, and we'll also link to it at the end of the video. The first part of the video focused more on Kevin's career the day after he left LEGO and building up his graphic and illustration business. This part of the interview will focus on social media, particularly streaming, Kevin's interest in LEGO as a building product, along with some of the cool MOCs that he's designed and built. And of course, we'll finish off the interview with why they don't bring back classic space, pirates, castle, trains, monorail, etc.
You also, as part of your social media, you also do some streaming, and you have your Doodle stream. Do you just want to quickly talk about that?
Yep, sure. So the world of streaming, I entered into the world of streaming 100% because of Bricksmith. That is why I stream. So Julian, a.k.a. Bricksmith, on his channel, Bricksmith78, just in case you don't know about him. I ran into him at Philly Brickfest in 2018. And that was in April. So I was a whole 4 months out of my 12-year career, and I was kind of in a really weird mental state, because I was still kind of devastated by everything. And but I'm also like desperately trying to like make this new thing work and provide. So it's a weird mental place. But I was invited to come out to Philly Brickfest by the owner, and I'd been there before. And Philadelphia is not that far away from me. For me, that's a 5-hour drive to get from where I am to Philadelphia, and that's not bad. I consider anything less than 10 hours not bad. So I'm like, all right, Philadelphia, I can do it. So I drove out there thinking, what the heck? I'll see how it's going. I was a little hesitant because I'm like, here I am, the old Lego guy going out to the show. Who knows what kind of reception I'll get? I really didn't know. I'm like, we'll see. But one of the first people I met for the first time was Bricksmith, and I mean, he was incredibly friendly, like over the top friendly. And I was like, what is this guy? What's this guy's angle? But he was like super, super friendly, super welcoming. Apparently he knew all about me. I was like, okay, but whatever. And so I ended up spending a lot of time with him, and he has years equaling thousands of hours of stream experience. And he was the one who was like, have you ever considered like live streaming? I was like, what are you talking about? No, like I didn't, like my YouTube channel was like 10 videos from college, like different little experimental animation clips that I put on there. That was it. Nothing else on it since I began it. Before it was even owned by Google, and it was just my own YouTube channel. And he was like, no, I'm bringing you in. I'm bringing you to the fold. You need to come into the family. I'm like, oh, God. All right. So he brought me in. He invited me onto his stream because he hosts a stream every single week, every Sunday. As far as I know, he's missed like 3 ever. So it's every Sunday night he does a stream. He invited me in, and I'm like, okay, it's not bad. It's like what I do at like lug meetings and stuff, except it's on the internet. So I wasn't against it, and I went back a few more times, and I just felt, the group of people that were there were very welcoming and, very, very nice. And I didn't feel like it was also because I had not really interacted with a lot of those folks in all of my other travel and career. Like I felt like a lot of their participation in the hobby and the community was online, and a lot of my job over many years was like in person at shows and with lugs and stuff. So like I felt like I was almost tapping into a brand new area of the community that although I knew it existed and was kind of around me, had never really participated in. So that was also kind of like I could put my guard down a little, because it was just weird for me. I'm like, these are the people that I've been Mr. Lego to them for so many years, and now here I am, like, it's me. I'm just like you. And that's not meant as an insult. It's just like I didn't know how that was going to play out yet. And with this group of people, I felt like that wasn't there because they had not really ever interacted with me. So it was like kind of like starting new, but I mean, in reality, they all knew about me. And so they're like, oh, we've all known about you. But I mean, they could not have like made me feel, more welcome. I was like, yeah, come in, build with us. And it wasn't a thing. So I was streaming with him, and I streamed with him for, I mean, that's how we started the podcast too. That talks about my whole Lego career and journey. Is he's like, we need to start a podcast. I mean, he was really like the guy that was like pushing me. He's like, here you go, we're gonna do this, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm doing this. It wasn't until 2019. So it was my New Year's resolution. So my New Year's resolution for 2019, January 2019, was that I was going to start streaming. So in all of 2018, I didn't stream. I just participated in everybody else's streams. And it was actually very fascinating. So I was watching streams and I was joining streams, and not just on YouTube. I was also slowly watching Twitch streams because there's a couple Lego people over there too, just kind of seeing how it was all playing out. And so then my resolution was, I'm going to stream. I'm going to do it. And I remember even being very nervous. I was very nervous when I did my first stream because I'm like, well, I've always joined everybody else's. I've never done my own. And also I should say for the record that in my time of joining other people's stream, that was under my YouTube channel, like Kevin A. Hinkle attached to my Google account, like, because that's how it is. Your Google account is your YouTube account. And I was like, I don't really want that. Like, if I'm really diving into my own business and my own brand, like, I want the YouTube channel to match that. So I started a new YouTube channel in the middle of me learning about streaming and everything, and that is the MrHinkleDraws channel, which is what I use now. So then I like hit the big reset button there on YouTube in the middle of learning about streaming. And that's one of the main reasons why the podcast, the Forever Sorting podcast, lives on Julian's channel, is because I didn't want it on my like Kevin A. Hinkle personal. I was like, this doesn't belong here. Like, it's not a good match. And the MrHinkleDraws YouTube channel didn't exist yet. It wasn't even a thing. So these are all interesting little tangents. But I started streaming as a New Year's resolution, 2019, January, and my first stream was backlog building. And as I mentioned before, if it's not already obvious, I try to like lean real in with everything I do. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, you know, and we all know folks that are like that as well. It's like, I'm going to put my effort into it. So I gave the show a name. Like, it's going to be called Backlog Building. I made a thumbnail for it for the series. I advertised it, and I like went all in. I even had like a nice proper email I sent out to friends saying, I cordially invite you to join me on Backlog Build. Like, I like went in on it, and it was fun. And I sat there for 3 hours and I built Lego sets. That's what I did, because I had a ridiculously large backlog of sets. It's no longer outrageous. It's only about 20. But when I started, it was about 300. Oh. And so I was like, we got to kill this. We got to take care of this. And it was fun. People showed up. People really enjoyed it. They ended up enjoying it so much that when I decided at the end of that year, after streaming for 1 year every Friday, it was just a Friday thing. So every Friday for a whole year in the morning, I did a stream of backlog building. I decided to stop it because I was like, well, I think I need to focus again on my art. Like, this is a hobby and this is my business. Like, this is two different things. Because I had also started streaming drawing at the same time. I launched Doodle Stream and Backlog Building at the same time. They both launched January 2019, and I alternated the Fridays. So this Friday was Backlog Building, next Friday's Doodle Stream. This Friday's Backlog Building, this Friday. So we just went back and forth. And what was kind of interesting for me is I always got like this great audience for Backlog Building, and then I would be drawing and go, and I get the small audience, and go way up for Backlog and go right. I'm like, man, I can't catch a break. So that was also part of my decision making, where I'm like, I think I need to just go all in on the art, because the Lego thing is holding me back. Like, people are just like, it's just all they want is Lego stuff from me, and I'm not Mr. Lego anymore. So I stopped it and I went all in on Doodle Stream in 2020. So this year, January, I said, I'm only doing Doodle Stream every single Friday. And I have no regrets with that. I think I've really enjoyed it. It's a 3-hour stream where I just sit and I draw. And I draw what people suggest. I draw how the discussion goes. I draw things I would never draw. I would never draw those things. But it's meant to just be loose. It's not meant to be any like super, super sophisticated. polished artwork. It's just like I'm just doodling. It's all digital. I use my tablet. I use my my pen, and I do it all in Photoshop. And it's a lot of fun. People really enjoyed it. It's evolved over time. We're doing themes now. So we had a theme last week where it was like your idea had to be green, and our next theme is going to be food. So you have like starting to have theme shows, and I also launched a monthly multiplayer edition of Doodle Stream. So we've only gotten four episodes because we're in May, but once a month on the last Friday, I invite another artist to come on, and we both doodle together. So, like, if it's two digital artists, I'll just switch the screen back and forth periodically. Or if it's traditional artists, they'll put their webcam down. And that's been a lot of fun, too, because I've been able to use the little stage I've built and showcase other artists. And so we draw the same thing. So people throw an idea, and we both draw it. And that's been really fun. That's the last Friday. But through my support, through all my other endeavors, and through the demands of the people, I have brought back the Lego building stream, but not to take place of the Doodle stream, which I really love. That's my thing. That's my child. So it's now brick building. I widened the scope. Brick building is a separate stream that I just started, and that's every Tuesday night. So Tuesday night evening time is my evening time in the East Coast is brick building, and then Friday morning is the Doodle stream.
Excellent. Yes, because it's the one which I went on the other day, which was the green theme, and when you came up with I threw it out there. I think one of the other guys too. It's like Kermit the Frog Ninja Turtle
with his banjo and a tea. It's crazy. I mean, I get some wacky stuff on there, but I appreciate it. I appreciate the conversation, and I appreciate people like wanting to sit there and watch me draw stuff. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing it. It's every single Friday morning, unless I'm sick, or I'm traveling, or I have some parental obligation I cannot get out of. But I don't plan anything to be on Friday morning. Like I plan for that to be the stream time. Homeschooling is making it very challenging, but it used to be easy when they went to school every Friday. That was really easy.
No, much the same doing the homeschooling thing, and it's just like, oh my
whole new
gosh,
world.
It's because I don't know what the age is yours, but mine are quite young, and you have to help them step by step, and it's just like,
my youngest is 6, and that is very step by step. It's like we're gonna do everything together. My oldest is 18, but it's also like I don't have to sit with him and do everything together. However, he's 18, so he likes to not do stuff and think he doesn't have to turn it in. And so his teachers will reach out and be like, hey, your son hasn't done this, or your son hasn't done that. Or like today, he had a Zoom meeting with his class, and his teacher sent me a message 8 minutes into the meeting saying, is your son going to join the class? I'm like, and so I sat there with my younger son and had to get up and go to the other room and tell my other son, like, your teacher just sent me a message. Are you supposed to be in a meeting? He's like, yeah, at 11:30. I'm like, it's 11:40. So he's like, oh, so it's like, it's totally, it's all stuff that I'm like, man, like only a couple months ago, I was like, you guys were gone during this time. I could do whatever I could work. I could do whatever I needed to do. And now I'm doing this.
That's why when we were setting this up and you said the time, and it's like, yeah, that's going to be 11 o'clock at night my time. That's brilliant. The kids are in bed. Like,
yeah, that's it. That's the time.
That's it. Awesome. So, I mean, there's so many other things which I could keep on going on and asking you about. There's so much interesting stuff.
24-hour stream. No, we can't. None of us can do it. None of us can do that.
Although having said that, I did the part of the 24-hour stream with Lego Maniac the other day, and
how long were you on?
I was just on for an hour for that one, but he was on the full 24 hours because he was building the
whole shebang. Have you done a 24-hour stream?
Yeah, I've only just discovered streaming. Like
that answer is the right answer. That's the. I have done one in my life. I did one, and it was actually last year. I did one for Beyond the Brick. So this was before anybody, myself included, knew that Boone Langston was on Lego Masters US. And, you know, Boone's a vital part of Beyond the Brick. He's outside of the Hanlon brothers. He's like the next one in. And Boone and Joshua had co-hosted their annual 24-hour live stream for like 3 or 4 years in a row. And I have always popped into their 24-hour stream every year without fail. I don't think I've ever missed a year. Not for the whole time. I show up and I'm like, I'll be in for 3 hours, maybe 4, maybe 6. One year I was actually there for 12. I was there for 12 hours, which is kind of crazy. But so Joshua reached out to me and said, hey, unfortunately Boone's not available this year. No reason given. Would you be willing to co-host the whole stream with Joshua? And I'm like, you know, I feel like as a streamer, as a Lego streamer, you don't really get your cred until you do one 24-hour stream. Then it's like you earn a stripe, like you're good. And I'm like, I have to do this stupid thing. I mean, it's for charity. It's for a good cause. But I'm like, I got to do this. And so that was my one and only. I don't regret it, but I will not be doing another one anytime soon. I was almost unconscious on the stream. I was like, this is so, what am I doing to my, like, there's parts of me on the stream where I'm just laying with my head down on the desk. And I'm like, what have I done? What have I done to myself?
Yeah, it's previously when I've done different jobs and things like that, like I can do 24, 48 hours and things like that, but I just don't enjoy it. Like it just messes with you. So it's like,
that's
can't do it straight. I need at least a couple of hours. Like
that is when your paintings will really start talking to you.
I just get these massive headaches, and you just can't think. And it's just. Yeah.
I got when I started, and they all made fun of me too. They made sure to make fun of old man Hinkle. But I got at the Dunkin' Donuts, they sell like these pre-boxed like gallons of coffee that are meant for like, you know, supplying your office or your school. And so I went and I got a box, and there's a photo. It's on my Instagram. And it's not too long ago because I don't post often anymore on my personal Instagram. But there's a picture of this wall and like my desk and the box sitting there. And I'm like, I am ready. And they were making so much fun of me. And I drank the whole box in that 24-hour. Like I had to. I was like, I'm dying. Especially when it got to like the 2 a.m. From the 2 a.m. to like the end. I was like, I should have been asleep.
When your body rhythm starts talking to you. And
They were making fun of me so hard. Like, he's got his old box of coffee over there. I'm like, yeah.
Get through it. Okay. So with that in mind, is there any question I should have asked you though that I haven't?
Oh. I thought of something. Thankfully, I had a cheat sheet. So, I mean, it's not my place to say you should or should not have asked that question. But the thing that I was thinking about is like, what are your hobbies outside of Lego and drawing? Because surely there's other time, right, outside of those things.
And kids.
I mean, yeah, and family. Okay, so we got like the flow chart. It's like your job, and then your kids, and then your drawing. It's like there's a little sliver left in there. But I do enjoy. I enjoy gaming. I like to play video games. I don't play nearly as much as I would like to. It's almost non-existent. But I love playing Nintendo games. If you couldn't tell by Mario behind me and a lot of the Nintendo-related stuff I do, I am a huge retro gaming fan. So and anything Nintendo that's pretty much ever happened, the NES, the SNES, the Nintendo 64, the GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U, the Switch, Game Boy, DS, DS Lite. I've had all of them. I've had every console. I still have almost all of them. One of these days, I'm going to get the Virtual Boy too, just because for the principle. I will
the bragging rights of actually having
for the bragging rights. Yeah, but I love playing. My favorite is the Super Nintendo. So I actually have here in my Lego space. I have a really old, like the giant fat back TV over there, with the old school 3-color cables, and I have a Super Nintendo. and I've got a ton of games. So I'll play. I'll throw in Donkey Kong Country or Super Mario World or Zelda, Kirby. Like I'm all about that. I do have a Switch. We have a Switch upstairs. Mario Odyssey, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart. I just don't get to play as much as I do, but I love playing Nintendo video games. It's that little piece of time I have left is for that.
So, given that, then 2 questions which will come out of that. Favorite retro game?
Earthbound. Hold on. This bad boy. This favorite video game of all time. All time. This is Earthbound. It's a Super Nintendo game. You might have never even heard of it.
No, I've heard of it. It pops up on those top 10 lists. I've never actually played it.
This is it. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the game. This is my favorite game of all time. Not just retro, but it's an RPG game. So it's RPG, and it has got the most out of this world ridiculous dialogue. It's one of those games where if you've played an RPG, and you go to like town to town to town, and you talk to the town people, and you kind of almost get sick of talking to everybody because they're just saying like, they say the most boring, mundane things. And how many times can you hear somebody, there's no such thing as boring dialogue in this game. Like you can talk to the most, like you're walking around a town, you're like, surely this guy doesn't have anything interesting to say. And you'll talk to him and he'll be like, well, the rats in the sewer have certainly gotten out of control lately. And you're like, what? Like everybody has insane dialogue in this game. And it's, there's just something kind of like, I really liked as a kid, I loved the art style in the game too. Cause yes, it's got pixel art, but the art direction was actually clay models. So if you look at like all the advertising, the old marketing material for the game, or the player's guide, which I have the player's guide too, all of the characters, like all the enemies, everything was rendered in clay, little clay figurines. And I'm like, that's an amazing, like you can kind of see it a little bit there. Those are clay models. But this is my favorite game. Outside of that, though, I like a lot of the classics. Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3, Zelda, Star Fox. I got them all over. They're all over there. But this is the one. This is the one. Yep, that's the one.
So, out of what's your favorite Super Mario game across any system?
That's a good one. That is a very good one. And I had to give this answer recently too to somebody else. Somebody else that was in the gaming world was like, "What was the best Mario?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a toss-up for me between Super Mario 64 and Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo, because I think both of those are the ones that I could just play like over and over and over and over again and not get bored of. Like I really enjoyed like Odyssey, and I enjoyed Sunshine. I enjoyed the original, but like they get stale, and I'm like, I'll come back later. Like 64 and World, I can just pick up every time. And I'm like, all right, I'll go do Bomb Bomb Battlefield again. Like it just doesn't, like those. I mean, that's a hard one between those two, but those are my favorite.
Yeah, I'd be sitting on Super Mario 3 and Mario World. Same sort of thing.
3's great too. 3's great too. It's like harder for me though. Those older ones were harder for me. Yeah. Maybe that's just me or everybody.
No, it was. You start getting now, it's like effectively infinite lives, infinite continues.
Like, how do I make it so I can win? Good stuff, though. I need to do that. I mean, I have like a series of these that I've done. I've done 2 of them. That's my series. It's 2. But I started with the original Mario up there, and then I did Super Mario World, where you got like Mario World.
Awesome.
And there's a whole thing here. I can't really move it. I got Yoshi also with the tongue.
Oh wow!
But it's like a mosaic kind of, but it's 3D. Like it has depth to it.
So
it's magic. It's magic is what it is. Oh, there's the tongue. And I got a turtle. I got a Koopa. So I made like a base, kind of like the base up there, but it's Super Mario World. And Yeah, it's all built that way. But then I have these little things so I can slide it into the holes of the base.
The peg holes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really just kind of like I wanted to do, because I like those games a lot and I like the pixel-based artwork, but I didn't want to do a mosaic. I was like, I don't want to do a mosaic. And so I just brought the mosaic out off the board.
The key parts.
Yeah, but my ambition is, because I have the original and I have World, so I want to do something like that, similar for Super Mario Bros. 2 and 3, so that I can have all 4 laid out in a row. And I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I really want to have a 64 one. And I don't even know how I'm going to go about it. I'm like, that's going to take some crazy Lego math to be like, because I want it to look like the low poly Mario, like the rolls. I want the rolls, and I want it to look, but it's going to be made out of Lego. So I don't know. I'll figure it out. But
we should talk later, because I've done some big sculptural stuff, and I do have a way of doing that. I've thought of doing it, so yeah.
I saw. I wasn't even going to do it. I was thinking, I'll do 1, 2, 3 World, and then I'll be good, because that's like those are the pixel-based ones. And then I saw another Lego fan on the internet had posted Cloud from Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation as a Lego model, and it looked like it was straight out of the game. And I was like, how did he had the shapes of the low poly Cloud, like at the big old forearms and like the skinny. Yeah. I'm like, it looks like the game model, but I'm like, if he can do Cloud, I can do Mario. Like it can happen. It can be done.
Yeah, because there's been another one which I've seen which has, just trying to remember the piece count, whether it was 80,000 bricks of like a Mario, and you can get the instructions for it, but it's sort of like, I don't even want to think about what that would cost to like.
Yeah, it would cost you your own Mushroom Kingdom castle to get
it. Exactly. So, okay. Is there anything else on retro I should still be talking to you about, or is that just a rabbit hole?
That's another podcast. That's another podcast. No, I'm a big fan of it. So if you or anybody else watching ever want to talk about retro gaming, hit me up. That's also. That's in my long-term aspirations for my streaming career, is one day to have a drawing stream and a building stream and a gaming stream. That's we're talking maybe years later, because again, I need to be able to feel comfortable with the income coming in that I'm like, I can dedicate 3 hours to game. Like I need, like that's what hangs me up. Like that's what hung me up on bringing the building stream back, was I was like, can I afford to lose 3 hours of work? And thanks to the people that do support me, like on Patreon or Etsy or wherever, I'm like, okay, I can take a breath and I feel a little bit more. So like, I do have aspirations of having a retro gaming stream as well at some point.
You've probably seen the Angry Video Game Nerd stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his review of this game is the best. That's the absolute best. It's so good. It makes a lot more sense if you've played the game, but he's got some good content.
Yeah, no, he's been following that for like ages. So yeah, it's sort of like, if you find your way that you like to do it and it hits a chord, you can take off.
Do you have a favorite retro game?
On the spot with that one.
I'm always ready for this guy. Like, this is the game.
Much like you, it's the sort of thing where I just don't have any time, and it's the sort of thing where you're like, okay, well, what would be a game which I can just pick up and just play for a bit?
I haven't played this in a couple of years, but I've played through it 20 times. I think at least 20 times. I
think I'm going to be boring. It probably is Mario 3 or Mario Super Mario. Although that said, the original Mario Kart, and I had a friend, and we used to play to death on Super Nintendo NBA Jam. That was just so much fun.
Like, hours of enjoyment. Hours of enjoyment. That's great.
So over the top. Okay, cool. We'll just get on to some of the rapid fire questions and then sort of wrap it up. Okay,
Let me get my cheat sheet ready.
here are some answers I prepared for you earlier.
Checks in the mail. Checks in the mail.
Checks in the mail. Okay. What's your favorite set?
My favorite set is Fort Lego Rado from the Western line, 6769, released in 1996.
Okay, I'll have to check that one out because that's definitely a Dark Age one for me. So,
fun fact, that is also the favorite Lego set of Joshua Hanlon from Beyond the Brick.
Oh, okay.
We very much share that. And actually, even sillier than that, we have a video on their channel where Joshua and I just do nothing but talk about Lego Western for about an hour. Ridiculous. It's if you're gonna watch it at 2 times speed.
Might be doing that. Yes.
Yeah.
I watch most things on YouTube at 2 times speed. That's what frustrates me then when I go across to Netflix, particularly if I'm watching a documentary. It's like, I can't watch this faster.
Now all of a sudden you're accustomed. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite theme?
Western. So
Western.
Obviously the whole Cowboys and Bandits thing, I think maybe resonates a little bit more with me because I'm originally from Texas. So I've got that like cowboy blood, I guess, in me. Although I don't act like a cowboy, I don't have a cowboy hat or boots or anything, or a horse. But I've always really, really had a special place in my heart for cowboys, and Western is my absolute favorite theme.
Excellent, excellent. A theme you didn't like, never understood, or glad it's gone.
Angry Birds. Get it out of here. Be done with it. It's just like so, like, I get that any Lego theme, any Lego theme is going to introduce cool colors and parts and shapes and whatever. I get it. But you know what? The whole theme was just nonsensical to me. I'm like, what? There's like every mold for every character is so unique that you can virtually use it for nothing else. I was like, all these birds are these birds, and they will only be these birds. That is what they will be. Some of the other parts are cool, but we would have got those parts somewhere else. You know, like you can't tell me that Lego would have never made an egg. It's like they'll make an egg. Yeah. But I was like, Angry Birds, get out of here. It was just like, and I felt like all those sets were just so like empty. It was like a spindly little tower with like a rail and a bird. And I'm like, what is this? Like, could you at least integrate it in with maybe the game? I get that it's based on the movie, but can we add a play mechanic where you knock over pigs or something? Like, no. Like, I actually think Mega did a better job with Angry Bird sets than Lego did, because they had that license years before, and they actually had a very like akin to the mobile game play mechanic where you would have a thing and launch the. I'm like, that's what you should have done. There it is. Hot takes, ladies and gentlemen.
That's it. Do you like Technic or not?
I respect that Technic adds stability to models and the system. I am not a fan of Lego Technic sets. I do not buy them. I don't particularly enjoy putting them together. But I respect that it is a stability that you can add into your models.
Yep. Any mock you've done that you're really proud of?
So definitely the Mario one. All right, I'm just going to show it.
Awesome.
It's just because it's like large. This is the one though. I actually won an award for this at hold on. Wait. It's kind of it's actually very heavy too.
Yeah.
But this is a piece of ground. It's full. It's all sides.
Oh wow.
All sides. Straight out of the game, right?
Yeah, that's brilliant. I just
put this back down before I hurt myself.
Yeah.
But that's a big old chunk of land, Super Mario World, and you can switch out Mario. That's why I have so many extra Marios, because you could take out that Mario and switch it for this one.
For that one.
Or you could take this one out and put the little guy, put the little one down. That one I'm really proud of, and as I was saying, I actually won an award at Bricks in the Six, which is a Lego convention in Toronto.
Okay.
I drove up to that because that was I think that was a 9-hour drive. Less than my 10 hours. 10 hours is the max. And I won an award for best sculpture, I think is what I won, was best sculpture.
Yeah, it's certainly, I mean, it looks brilliant.
Thank you. It's just fun because people look at it and then they smile, and that's what I'm like. Yay! Like they like, it's like happy memories.
Yeah.
When I'm at a show with it, I actually have a little portable speaker, and I put it behind the model, and I just loop the sound, so it plays the theme music from that level. And when I have my other models, like I'll have like a little playlist. So I'll have like that one next to, so I'll have the original theme on it. It'll have the world theme on it. I actually just did some disassembly of MOCs, but I used to have the Pokemon trainers from the Game Boy game. So I had like red and blue, and so it would play like the Pokemon theme. And I had a bunch of characters from this game, and it was great because like 1 out of every 200 people would be like, "Is that from Earthbound?" I'm like, that's what made it worth it. That's super good. And so I would have a whole like 2 or 3 tables worth of retro game models, and then the speaker would just loop all the music from all of them. So
yeah, so it really does the atmosphere, and it makes such a difference just having that. Because as soon as you picked up the other Mario one, it's like, I don't want to embarrass myself and hum that tune.
But you're already thinking it. Yeah, it's like immersion. You're being immersed in the experience, and I've seen so many at shows. So like when I'm at a show, I don't really like to talk about my MOCs. I'm not like I whatever. They can look at it and enjoy it. So I usually will sit on the other side. Like I will be like, if there's stanchions or barricades or whatever, I will go outside of it and I will be like where the public is. And I kind of want them to think like I'm just another person looking at the model. Like I don't want to talk about it. I'll talk about it with fans and fellow enthusiasts, but well, yeah, I'm good. And so I will sit there, and so many parents are like, "Oh, it's Mar," and it's interesting because the little kids now like don't recognize it. Like I don't know who that is. So it's funny because a little boy was like saying, he was like, "Look, Dad, it's Minecraft," and the dad was like, "That is not Minecraft, son." But thankfully, the Mario Maker games on the Switch are actually reintroducing these again to the kids, so they're getting a little bit more accustomed to seeing them. But it's fun seeing all the parents, like mostly the parents, light up to those, and they're the ones taking photos, and like the little kids are like already bored, like, and they walk away.
Walk away.
Like,
yeah, they just don't get it, because with our kids, they're still not very old. We started them off on some of the PlayStation stuff, and 3D worlds, and trying to get them to get to grips with the controls and everything like that in 3D space. They just couldn't do it. So we had the NES Classic or whatever, and at least that way it's really basic. So they kind of at least know it a little bit through that. But then other things like we did I managed to go to Simpsons house and did that a couple months ago, and they know the characters. Like they've seen it on TV, but they had really no idea of their names or any of the storylines. Or it's just like,
it's a whole, if there was ever a time to make you feel old, you're like, all right, I guess I feel old now. It's just like, all right, we're okay.
I'm becoming uncool like my parents were at that stage. Oh no!
I can feel the aging.
So how big a space do you have? Do you have a room, a table, a house for Lego?
Yeah, so I'm really, really lucky. I do have a whole basement that is dedicated to all this. So I don't have a particularly large house, but I do have a house, and the entire basement area is allowed to me by my lovely wife. So I can keep all the Lego down here. I kind of use this as like my space, not to be confused with MySpace, the social platform. But this is my space where I have my Lego stuff. I have my retro gaming stuff. I also have like DVDs and like other like toy statuettes and stuff. I don't have a huge collection, but I have like a dozen or so in the other room, and like action figures, and That's where my comics were. That's why I went over there to get comics. So like the basement is like it's my area. If you do want a 100% Lego room tour, there is a video. It's not on my channel because when it was recorded, I didn't have a channel. I had my personal channel that I never wanted anything on. I'm like, that's weird. But if you check out David Hall's YouTube channel, it's Solid Brick Studio, bricks with an X, B-R-I-X, Solid Brick Studios. It's called Lego Room Tour, I think episode 1, Kevin Hinkle, I think that's what it's called. And he came over here from Virginia. I think he's from Virginia. He drove up here to Connecticut from Virginia, and we did a whole series of interviews and stuff, but he shot a whole room tour because he was very impressed with the space, and he's like, have you ever done a room tour? And I'm like, what does that mean? I was like, I don't know what that means. And so he's like, I mean, I can do one for you if you want. And I'm like, okay, you can do it. So I narrated while he walked around, and I showed. So there's an in-depth. It's like 40 minutes. It's like a 40-minute walk. So if you're very curious and you want to see all this, you can just check out his channel. Or you can go to my channel, and I have a playlist that has it in there. The playlist is called Kevin Who? And it just has all these random videos that I'm in and stuff about me. So there's a room tour video on that. But it's the whole basement of my house.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I have to check that out because just the way that you got it set up there and just being curious, it's sort of like you're sorted by color, and then how have you broken that down further? And
yeah. I mean, and there's different stages, right? There's different stages in the basement. Like this is the most granular. Like this is the ultimate perfection. This is by shape and color, and it's an amazing backdrop. It looks very nice.
Yeah.
But my whole collection by no means is that sorted. I mean, underneath these tables where I got minifigs and there's base plates over there, and there's various levels of organization. So if you see the video, you'll see the good, the bad, and the ugly.
It's cut. This angle's carefully crafted for videos.
This is exactly why this is the way it is. It's perfect. It works so good on streams. That's what it's all about. I want you to imagine I have just rows of this, and it just goes on and on and on.
Then we'll find out that it's actually just a Zoom backdrop.
Oh, that would be rough. That would be like my greatest scandal. It's like I actually have none. I have no Lego at all. I have like a small creator set in the corner. And this is all
corner there.
Fake backdrop.
A couple of bits of Fabuland or something.
One Galidor set. Which, not to be one Galidor set.
Galidor. Sometimes when you're in a dark age and you're glad that you are. Just an estimate of the number of Lego pieces you have?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I use Brickset and I recommend it highly. Brickset, I use it to keep track of what I have in terms of sets. I haven't updated it in a couple of years. So remember when I said I had 300 sets in the backlog? Yeah. None of those are in Brickset. But up to that point, though, it had been updated. It's like, that's a pretty good, but it's not my whole collection. So according to Brickset right now, without taking all those other sets, Brickset says I have 500,000 pieces.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing with all the sets that are not in Brickset and all the loose elements I've gotten in all kinds of different ways, which is a lot, I'm going to guess 750,000. That's my estimate.
Yeah.
We're not at a mill. I don't think we're at a mill. I don't think we're at a million. Can't be.
A theme you wish they would do or bring back?
Okay, so we've already obviously discovered I am a huge Nintendo fan. I don't necessarily need anything to come back. I'm content. I'm content. Everything has happened. It's good. But I have been nothing short of desperate for the last several years for there to be a Nintendo and Lego partnership. I'm a huge Nintendo fan. I'm a big Lego fan. I'm like, those companies have a lot of the same brand values. Obviously, I'm really excited for Lego Super Mario. It's not what I was hoping to see, but I'm hoping it is the beginning of a longer partnership. I am definitely planning on buying all of them, not necessarily even because I really like them, because I kind of don't, but I understand how companies work, and if it's not financially successful, there will be no more. So I'm like, all right, I'll buy all those sets to show you I support the partnership. I'm hoping that there are more traditional Super Mario sets coming, and I hope it expands into Zelda. I would be so incredibly happy if we had Legend of Zelda Lego sets. And I have supported every Lego Legend of Zelda set that has gone to the review phase of 10,000 Lego ideas. Every single one, which has happened 5 times now, I think, which shows you there's demand.
Yeah.
There's like so many people that want Lego Legend of Zelda. So if I could have anything, I would want more expansion into Nintendo properties. I don't want to say better Super Mario, but Super Mario and Legend of Zelda would be awesome.
Yeah. That seems to be the big thing at the moment. It's sort of like, don't get me wrong, Super Mario, number 1, Nintendo, yep, get it. But then the close second is Zelda. That's what everybody is hanging out for. And yeah, it's much the same as you. It's sort of like, if this first lot doesn't do well,
then it's done.
It's done. And
I mean, that's how companies work.
Yeah.
That's how if it's not financially successful, whether you think it's the right approach or the right way, it's kind of irrelevant. If it sells, it's successful. If it doesn't sell, it's not successful. And they will widen that scope to encompass the whole partnership. They'll say, well, I guess people didn't want Lego and Nintendo to work together. It's like, no, that's not what we wanted.
It's not.
I mean, you can scream as loud as you want, but it's always going to be a numbers game.
Yeah. And that's, I think, been the disappointment with me for the Mario stuff. It's like, the more that we find out about it,
the more you're sad.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like, you see the first thing, you go, okay, this can kind of work. And then you see the next video, and it's sort of like, and that's how much?
I think I was, when the trailer, like when the real trailer came out, and it wasn't like the teaser trailer, which I was kind of like, I don't know what this means. But then on the real trailer, I'm pretty sure the whole time I was watching it, I'm just like, all right. I was like, fine.
You can recreate your own reaction video.
Okay. I'm just like, I'm accepting it. I'm just like, oh, fine.
Okay, if we've got to have this to get to the good stuff.
I know. I'm like, fine. All right. Okay.
Favorite Lego build of the last year?
So that is a fascinating question, and I went back through my records because I used to take a photograph of every single Lego set I built, and I did that for years. I did that for 5 years. If I built the set, I would take a real quick picture with my phone of the set built, kind of as like, I don't know, proof I did it. I used to post them on social media, and then I stopped because, I mean, I went through a period of time where I'm like, I'm just giving Lego more free advertisement. I don't know how I feel about that. And then I was also a little upset because sometimes I'd be like, hey, everybody, check out this piece of artwork I just spent 14 hours on. And they'd be like, oh, 30 people like it. And I'd be like, hey, everybody, I just built this Lego Star Wars set. And it's like, oh, 482 people like this. I'm like, so I stopped posting them online. I actually even went back and like archived all. I was like, I get all these off here. But I built, according to that, I almost built 100 sets last year. So I was like, that's a lot of sets. And so I was even having difficulty remembering which ones I was like, that I really like and which ones I didn't. I want to say, all of that being said, all the disclaimers out there, I think Voltron was probably my favorite last year because I did build that last year. And I did really enjoy like the robot form. And then my son knocked it over too. He was like, bonk. I was like, he's like, yeah, well, I mean, I don't display Lego sets anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I wanted them to stay together a little longer than like a week. It was just like, all right. It was funny because he left I put him on the bin, like, you know, one of the big plastic bins. And so he was standing on the bin. And my son wanted to get something from inside the bin. And as opposed to just taking him off the bin, he lifted the lid so he could get something out of it. And I was sitting here and I watched the entire thing occur. And I'm like, it's going to fall over. And it's like, I just watched Voltron go, ooh, and just went right on the ground and on the concrete. because this is a unfinished basement. I don't have like it's concrete. I've got like some nice like spongy gym mats and stuff down, but it was just like, oh, there you go. All right, gone. So I think Voltron was my favorite last year, I think.
Is it favorite enough to rebuild it?
No, I don't ever rebuild anything. It's gone. It's done. The pieces have been assimilated into the collective. It is no longer in its raw form.
Your favorite Lego resource, website, book, podcast, other?
Without a doubt, the New Elementary. That is my favorite. I am so much a supporter of New Elementary. I am I think I'm in either the second or third tier patron supporter for the New Elementary. So I definitely recommend them. They're on everything. Obviously, they have a website and they have a blog on the site, but they're also on social media. But New Elementary is where it is at. They will show you all the things that you, as a Lego fan, want to see about the sets. So they will focus on all the excellent details of new element colors, new shapes. I mean, all the stuff. Like I think they are one of the best resources out there.
Yeah, absolutely. We, as part of the London AFOLs, a couple of guys there came along to one, and we based this theme around them last year, and they were doing the new pieces out of the Batman sets. Yeah. And I mean, you're probably aware of this because you're within Lego, but they then started explaining to us how some of the pieces are IP locked.
Yeah, yep.
And it's just like,
yeah,
that just, I mean, for anybody out there, can you just give the 2-minute version of what that means?
Yeah. So yeah, the simple thing is if you look at something, if you look at a brand, so for example, like Reese's peanut butter cups, right? There is an orange color on their packaging. So when you think Reese's, you see that orange thing. That orange color, that actual tone, is locked and copyrighted by Reese's. So when Lego is working with a company, so say for example they make a Reese's set and they want to use that orange, there could be an orange 2x4, and by the naked eye, you're like, it's a 2x4 and it's orange. What's the big deal? But in the system, it is now locked as being related to that license, that agreement, and that agreement says that you can only use this part with this set in this box. And so there's not other ways to get it, like through the normal, like, you know, anybody can get a red 2x4. You can get a red 2x4 however you want. But that color for that brand, for that purpose, is locked. Can't do anything else outside of it. And there's some really weird ones that are, I think probably the most notorious was the Cars line of products. Because there was a lot of great colors. Because you had like that aqua color for one of the cars. You had the olive, almost military green color for another car. And those were all IP locked. All because they were for the specific cars. And so people wanted to get them through other bulk buying opportunities like Lug Bulk and stuff. And it was like, nope, can't get it. It's locked. You can only be in that set for that car in that box. So that's the quick view. But the good news is that sometimes those can change. It all depends. You know, if it's very, very specific, like if it's a color that is made for a company, it's probably never going to not be IP locked. So like, you know, the old Maersk blue, that was a blue made for Maersk. So it's like, that's going to be locked forever. But like the new Maersk blue actually matches one of the Azure colors so closely that Lego didn't need to make a special blue. Like, oh, we already have a blue. So like that color is not going to be IP locked because it's Lego's Azure color. So you don't need to worry about that. But sometimes other colors over time, once the licensing agreement elapses and they use it more and more, like the aqua color that was originally in like one car, you'll see aqua more and more, and then it no longer has to be IP locked. But yeah, the fascinating world of elements and colors and licensing and all that junk.
Yeah, because the ones for the Batman sets were gray, and they were like, I think it was like a gun or a particular type of spoke, or
yeah, probably
basically greebling parts. And it's like,
yeah,
why would you make a specific mold to do that, to be IP locked?
Because of money.
So, money. Yeah, it does. The first time I came across that, it just does my head in. I don't like.
It is when you look at the hobby from a perspective of this is all your medium, right? It's like these are your crayons. You're like, I don't understand why I can't use that green crayon. It's like, you can't use that green crayon. You can use this green crayon. It's a little bit different. It's like, well, that's not the right color. I mean, it kind of feels like that. It's like, why can't I? You can't. Because the lawyer says you can't. It's like,
Because you
all
can't. Okay, like, I get that, but then why bother making it in the first place? Like,
because it made the licensing partner happy, and they thought it was going to be worth the investment.
anyhow, a set you wish you bought but never did.
The classic train stuff, actually. So like the Santa Fe and the BNSF and the Metroliner, like that kind of like era of trains. I got none of them. So I'm like, and here's the thing that's even more soul crushing. This is the soul crushing thing, is those were out and available and on shelf when I worked at Lego. Like in 2005, when I was a sales associate at the Lego store, I stocked those. I put them on the shelf. I remember bringing out Santa Fe's and putting them on the shelf. And I'm like, oh, this Lego stuff's expensive. I mean, I was a college kid. I had no money. I bought Lego, but I really didn't have a huge extra income. And the last thing I needed to do was my main job, which was still just part-time, put all that money right back into I don't need to do that. But that's what also is like, I'm sitting there going, I held all those things. I had pallets of them. I put them on the shelf, and I even was entitled to an employee discount on those things, and I still didn't get them. But I do regret that I got none of them. None of the whole line with the cars, the different like passenger cars or the coal car, the different, like the whole train era, like that great train era. None of them. I got none of those sets. And I think those would be gorgeous on like a nice city layout with like a classic train. I mean, that'd be cool, but didn't get any of them.
Didn't happen. None of them.
None of them. I got none of them.
Any AFOL groups you're part of?
Yeah. So right now, I'm currently a member of Conlug. That's the Connecticut Lego user group. I've previously been a member of TexLug when I lived in Texas. I was a member of Cactus Brick when I lived in Arizona, and I was a member of CalLug, which stands for the Colorado and Wyoming Lego user group when I lived in Colorado. As far as I know, I'm still a member of all of them. I don't ever post or anything. I'm actually even terrible about my own lug. I think I go to like one meeting a year because I'm just usually busy and I'm doing stuff, but they're very active. They have a meeting every single month and they do all kinds of stuff. And outside of the lug space, obviously I'm super active in the Lego streaming space in YouTube, and also keeping up with the folks over on Twitch too.
Why do you think you're into Lego, or what about Lego appeals to you or grabs you?
So I think there's two things there. I think there's Lego, like the medium, and that's kind of what really pulls me in, is that I do think that it is a quite limitless medium to use to create things. Like you could create anything. At the same time, there are constraints. Like there's rules. There's only certain ways things can go together. There's only a certain number of parts. Some of them are IP locked, but it's this interesting balance of limitless possibilities and then very structured constraints around what you can do. And that is fascinating to me. It's a wonderful creative, a creative explosion of these two things, these two concepts. And that definitely is super, super interesting to me. Outside of that, it's the people. I go to shows, like conventions and stuff, and I might not buy a single Lego thing. I've gone to plenty of shows where I have not spent $1 on buying anything Lego related at the show. I'm just there because the people are so cool. And I want to talk to the different members of the community or chat with them online. I've been in plenty of streams where I have nothing to add. I'm like, whatever. We talking about Lego again? I was like, I just want to be around other people that kind of think the same way and that kind of like-minded. There's so many like positive people that the people bring me back to Lego all the time too. It doesn't even have to be just the bricks. But it's those two things. It's the limitless ability while still having these constraints around it being an artistic medium, and then also the incredible community around it. Those things keep forcing me, and I just keep trying to get away, and you guys just keep bringing me back.
It's not that you haven't had any commitment to it over the last 15 years or so.
I had my chance. I could have run for the hills. I could have just been done with it all and just run. But here we are.
And is there anybody out there you wish to connect with or that would help you in some way?
So yeah, that one it's interesting because I have been very fortunate to work with a lot of people. And that has mostly been because of my career and how I've been connected with Lego. Because there's a lot of incredible people that I've been like, whoa, that'd be cool to work with that person. And I've worked with almost all of them. And so it's like that list starts to get kind of whittled away, and you're like, who's left? And I'm also pretty comfortable. I think I consider myself whole extroverted and then very comfortable talking to people and approaching people. So when there are people that I want to work together, I'm usually not too hesitant to just reach out and work with them. And so I don't necessarily have anyone in mind that I haven't already just talked to and said, hey, let's do something together, and we do it. But I'm always on the lookout for new things, and I try to find ways to work with people. And when people reach out to me, I'm usually not too opposed to doing stuff together. I like doing stuff together. So I can't think of anyone because I've had so many cool people that I've worked with already. And usually when new people pop up, I'll just kind of like say, hey, we should do this together. And we do it. So it's like I don't have like a list or anyone that immediately comes to mind that I have not worked with that I would really like to.
Excellent. Good spot to be in with that.
It's a great spot to be in.
And if people want to reach out with you and get in touch, what's the best way to do that?
So I have my website. You can find me online at kevinahinkle.com. That's where I have an up-to-date portfolio. It actually was just updated like last week, so it's fresh. You can check that out. You can see examples of my past work. You can fill in the contact form if you'd like to reach out about a project. Or you can find me on social media, either personally at Mr. Kevin Hinkle. That's my personal account. It's still open for anyone to follow. It's not like I do super private things, but that's my personal account. And then at MrHinkleDraws is my art account where I just post my work. And that's on everything. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. Anywhere you need to find me, you will be able to find me.
Excellent, great. And just before we wrap up here, is there anything else which you should have asked about or you want to talk about or comment on?
I don't know. I can't think of anything. We talked about video games earlier, and that was my offshoot. So I'm like, do I have a backup offshoot? Something that I've been asked a lot is like, do I have any like big goals for the year? Been asked that a lot. And I would say, my plans for this year to just keep doing what I'm doing, keep the grind going, as they say, because it's paying off. It's just, it's a slow go, but I'm going to keep streaming. So, if you're interested in live streams, Tuesday night, Friday morning, I'm going to keep streaming. I'm going to keep sharing artwork with everybody. I'm going to keep producing stuff for sale on my Etsy store. I'm going to keep taking commissions. And my big goal this year was really to get out and dive headfirst into tabling at shows, like actually having an artist table at local comic conventions and stuff like that. That totally fell apart this year. Like all the shows I had signed up for, all were canceled over the course of like 5 months. So, but I'm still going to work to hopefully do that, I guess, next year now, because that is something I really want to dive into, and I've really tried to lean into my offerings as an artist in anticipation of having tables at shows and cons, including Lego shows. I actually love to have art tables at Lego shows. I don't think they're very common. I feel like a lot of Lego shows, you're lucky if you get like one Lego artist like there at a table. Otherwise, there's not any. And there's a lot of great artists out there that do a lot of Lego inspired artwork that I think it would be really cool to have more artists at those shows. So that's some of my goals, is to just keep doing what I'm doing, keep evolving it, and aim to have a table space at some of these shows, both Lego and non.
On Lego. Excellent. Just one question, which it's going to be kind of random on a bit of detail. I remember seeing somewhere, like you're saying one of the questions you get a lot or used to get a lot as a Lego rep was, when are they going to bring back Space Pirates Castle and
Yes.
Monorail?
Yes,
And
all the time.
You had an interesting answer particularly for, I think it was some of the trains in the Monorail, that part of it is because the older people who have it, the costs of them maintaining the sets are quite high, or turning it over when it breaks, or I didn't quite understand that answer. Like, so particularly with Monorail and trains, why?
Oh, I don't even know. I'm trying to imagine what I said back then.
Okay, don't worry.
I mean, I had a lot of really good, like, prepared answers for things. And over time, they start to all mix together. But, I mean, the reality is that, over time, a lot of people from the community have a lot of demands, I should say. And a lot of those demands really focus on bring back X, Y, or Z. Yeah. Bring back the cafe corner. Huge one. Bring back Monorail. Huge one. Bring back classic fill in the blank. So it would be classic space, classic pirate, classic castle. And there's this kind of ongoing mentality of bring back this, bring back that, bring back this. And Lego itself really doesn't like to focus too much on regurgitating the same things over and over again. They really try to chase what's new. Not necessarily saying that's the right thing or the wrong thing. That's just what they do. It's like, what's the new innovation? What's the new play mechanic? What's the new this? What's the new that? Every now and then you'll get a product designer or a graphic designer that is keenly aware of the community's interests and nostalgia, and they're the ones that kind of hide in these interesting homages in the sets that people are usually like, oh, that's so cool. Like Lego put a nod to Bionicle in this set, or they put a nod in, and that's usually a very specific product designer or a very specific graphic designer that knows the fans will like this when I do this. The company, as the big engine, they're not necessarily really ever interested in what can we bring back. It's always what new thing can we bring to market. And so they get very turned off when they hear things like bring back anything. You can just put anything in there. It's a lot of marketing executives will immediately stop listening to you when you're like, bring back whatever. It's a lot about, in the marketing corporate world, it's a lot about how you phrase things and how you, I've been in meetings where I literally say the same thing, but I just use a lot more flowery language. And it gets a whole different response. It's like, I could say that's a stupid idea and everyone thinks I'm rude. Or I could say, like, I don't believe that's the best strategy for that proposal, and I'm a genius. It's like, it's the same thing. But Monorail in particular, it's also kind of difficult because I feel like half the people that ask about it aren't even serious. Like, it's kind of almost evolved into a joke. So, like, some of the people say it just to see what kind of response they get from whoever Lego rep they ask. And some of them have even admitted that. They go, well, I don't care. I just want to see what you're going to say. And it's like, well, that's not very constructive. It's like, that's just not. And I've had those side conversations with people before. I'm like, that's not very constructive. Think about all the people in the audience that are genuinely confused as why you keep asking me this every time I'm out here. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what I would have said. And I can't remember about.
I'll go back and have a look because I think it was on an MNR stream that you did.
Oh, maybe. And that was like, what, 2 years ago now, maybe?
Yeah, I think you just
on the podcast, right? Bricks and Bits, probably.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, there is something in the equation about cost of upkeep with like 9-volt trains. Like, but I don't remember what I said. I'm sure it was really well articulate and right on the money. But I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, no, it's just one of those things. I think it's more just because of the way the question got asked and you kind of gave an answer, but then they chopped to something else.
It maybe
right
that
after it. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
That happens a lot too. That like you know, over my time, it's a huge deal when someone was like, oh, we've got the Lego guy. It's time. Like, hit him with everything. And so like you could change topics like every couple seconds, and you're like, what are we doing? And like your PR brain is like, hold on, I got to readjust for what messaging is next. Now what messaging is next? Like, it's just like rapid fire. I mean, that's the community will test your PR skills every day of the week.
Okay, I think that's just about our time done. Thanks very much, Kevin, for agreeing to this and spending so much time. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I got to go play Earthbound now.
Being all inspired again. So, okay,
yeah,
great.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate the invite. I appreciate it. It's been a great conversation.
It's great to hear, and tried to keep it away from a lot of other things which you may have repeated numerous times in the past.
Well, and I mean, I think that's the thing. If there's anybody listening that does, have a genuine interest, like, oh, I want to know a little bit more about Kevin and maybe his career or whatever, I promise you, there is a wealth of resources out there. There's a lot. As we mentioned earlier, I have a 65-episode podcast about my career. If you want every excruciating detail, just check that out. And I've done a lot of interviews, and I don't mind doing them. But the older ones, if you want those juicy Lego tidbits, the older ones are probably better because like my memory fades as we go on, and I'm like, I mean, there's a lot more things for me to keep track of and pay attention to versus the molding tolerances on plastic molding machines now. Like, that's not relevant anymore to me. So, but check them out. I mean, they're all over the place. There is a wealth of resources out there.
Yeah, we'll include some links below and around this video. So, alrighty then, if you'd like to be on the show, feel free to drop me a line at matt@mattelder.com. Otherwise, that's it from us here at Family Bricks. Until next time, when we talk about all things Lego and lifestyle. Bye.
See ya!